I quit after 3 days. I started work for a company on Monday. Wednesday, the boss calls me in to chew me out for reasons I will mention below. And it led to me quitting. I would appreciate some insight as to whether I was justified in doing so, or if I'm overreacting. Reasons I was scolded for. 1. He questioned why I wasn't doing work when it was piling up. He never assigned me any work. It was my colleague and mentor who assigned me work, which I was, in fact, doing. 2. He questioned why I didn't stay back to complete the work I was given, and why I was so slow. I was still learning, and my colleague, mentor also advised me to go home at 6 p.m., the time our office hours ends. Also, I was not given any deadlines. When I told him this, he said he shouldn't have to give me deadlines. 3. He asked me, rather condescendingly, if I have a mental health condition. I said nothing I had been diagnosed with, which was the truth. He then accused me of skirting the topic and demanded an answer once again. I told him I had been prescribed antidepressants a long time ago, and stopped taking them more than half a year ago. He told me I should have declared this to him during our interview so he could make the decision as to whether to hire me, despite the fact that he never asked me. He said he shouldn't have to ask me, and that I'm pretty sure that is against the law. 4. He accused me of disappearing for ages. I was in the toilet for 10+ minutes. He questioned why I took so long to go to the toilet. When I said it's because of constipation, he said I should have declared this issue to him during the interview too. When I explained all the above to him, he accused me of being argumentative. He then told me he was giving me until tomorrow, which is today, to decide if I am able to work there. I told him I didn't need till tomorrow, and said I was resigning effectively immediately. I, of course, feel great relief at leaving what I perceive to be a toxic place. Even one of my other coworkers told me on the first day that the boss screams and yells at people sometimes. And in the span of those 3 days I have noticed him yelling at a client for not obeying him, and also placing other what I perceive to be unreasonable expectations of my coworkers. However, I do realize how bad it seems to quit so soon, and my dad thinks I should have toughed it out. So I would like your opinion. Did I do the right thing, or should I have stayed? So, QueenMangosteen, tell us a little about yourself. Well, I stopped taking my antidepressants about half a year ago, and I'm constipated. When can you start? Quote, would also be a good answer for, tell us about a weakness you have type question. If you are treated this way as a new hire in training, he would have continued to treat you this way. He would have manipulated you to work harder and possibly off the clock. You did the right thing. Good luck on your next job. Fuck that guy. I didn't know you can schedule constipation. Can you also schedule headaches, colds, other ailments? Berating you for your work on only the 3rd day, there is a huge warning sign. Every employee in the history of the planet has needed time to get up to speed in a new environment. If they don't understand that, they aren't worth working for. If you can't tolerate assholes like him, I congratulate you. Sounds like the only sensible choice to me. Good luck. I never quit. I tell the 4SSH4TS where they can put their yelling and BS. If that gets me fired. Unemployment it is. It's illegal for a job to ask you questions about your health. Fuck that guy. Report him to the Department of Labor. He cannot ask you about your medical history or diagnosis. You did exactly the right thing at exactly the right time. You would have regretted sucking it up way more than you're regretting quitting now. If all his employees followed your example, he'd be broke and deserving it. Fuck that guy. He had no right to grill you on your mental health. None. It is none of his business. 3 is illegal in every state. He asked me, rather condescendingly, if I have a mental health condition. I think this may be grounds for a lawsuit, especially with the rest of the harassment. This was completely unprofessional and you reacted well. Next time don't even answer his inappropriate questions. He can't ask about your constipation or depression. He's lucky you quit. You could have sued him. Under the Americans with Disabilities Act, ADA, employers cannot ask employees about their health or possible disabilities. However, your employer can ask about your health in 2 cases. If they suspect you may have a condition that could risk your safety in the workplace or ability to perform your job. For example, if you operate heavy machinery and look tired or like you might have the flu, your manager or employer can ask about your health to evaluate your fitness for employment. If you are asking for medical leave or accommodation for your disability, in these cases, you have already disclosed there is some medical condition. Your employer can ask about your health and even ask for proof of the extent and type of condition you have. Aside from these exceptions, your employer cannot even ask if you are pregnant, let alone anything about current or former medical issues. Important questions in every job interview. How are your bowel movements? Quote, have you been to the cuckoo house? Quote, how do you like your abusive relationships? Quote. 1. He's an idiot. 2. He's a cheap exploiting bastard. 3. He's an invasive asshole. 4. He's an unrealistic moron. You owed them nothing. Call HR if there is one and document the entire conversation. Dear God, it's bad out there. It seems to depend on whether you are salaried or hourly. If he had a point about working past 6 p.m. Sorry to hear that you had to deal with this kind of jerk. I have worked in law as a computer document specialist for 32 years. There are many different personalities like in any profession. This sounds like a typical trap to make sure you obey his every command going forward. Better quit now than to get sucked into the narcissistic cesspool that they have going. Long-term and repetitive exposure to unfair office practices, bullying and borderline harassment can lead to complex PTSD and depression, if I understand it correctly, neither of which they pay you for. Well done and thanks for sharing. I can imagine this has been a very frustrating experience. I hope you can find a more constructive and supportive environment quickly. Sounds he gave you no leeway for training. Also, asking if you have a mental condition is protected by law. He's absolutely not allowed to ask that. I would forget that job. Rest easy. Find another.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.